Okay, so the next one I wanted to talk about was the role of religion as social theory. So when I was a kid, I worked at the library at my old college, and um, I worked the circulation desk. People check books out, turn them back in. I've kind of recently come to understand that that the circulation desk was a little bit like Twitter or Reddit in 1990. And the reason for that is that people would check a book in, and it might look interesting, and you'd read the inside flap, the back cover, a little bit here and there, and then you put it back, and there was always a steady stream of interesting things coming in. Now, one of those that I recall, maybe in fact the only one all these years later, is one called Towards a Catholic Sociology or something like that. And I went to a Catholic college and was a sociology major, so I thought, oh, this is going to be interesting. Um, but as I read it, read it, get it? As I read it, I came to understand that you don't really need a Catholic sociology if you're a Catholic, because a Catholic sociology would actually just be the catechism. And what do I mean by that? Well, when you start to look at the things that sociology tries to talk about, uh, it's stuff like relationships, like organizations, like personal behavior, like all the social stuff. Well, if you're coming from a religious perspective, and again, my examples are going to be Catholic, um, mostly because they're the only ones I'm allowed to pick on as a Catholic. Um, but if you look at social things from a Catholic perspective, pretty soon you'll realize that, in fact, that they have answers, right? Um, when it comes to sexual behavior, the Catholics are pretty clear what's acceptable and what isn't, and um, where and when those behaviors um, should should exist, right? Should be engaged in. Um, if we look at something like abortion, that's Catholics have a clear understanding of what that should be. Uh, when it comes to relationship to the state, um, that's a little less clear. But if you went and looked at the Catechism, it would tell you, when it was okay to participate in the military, when it was okay to participate in a war, when it was okay to speed. Um, it's all in there. It's actually kind of interesting. Um, and just like I said a couple of videos back, when you read it, it'll say, the Bible says this, Augustine said this, and following from that, we know that this should or shouldn't be um, acceptable. Okay, so when you start talking about the human understandings, what would be sociology from within a religious tradition, I mean, we would just call that theology, right? All the stuff that I just mentioned is stuff that if you were approaching it from a sociological perspective, the very first thing you would do would be to, well, maybe this is different nowadays, but would be to put your own moral judgment over here in a bucket, put it on the shelf for the time being. Um, as a sociologist, if I were to do queer theory, if I wanted to study the relationships of gay prostitutes and their clientele getting older, um, that would be a weird one to do from within a Catholic sociology, right? Because really the answer is you shouldn't be visiting prostitutes, you shouldn't be gay, um, knock it off, right? But from a straight sociology perspective, it's not up to me to say um, whether or not you should be engaging in prostitution. That's between the people involved. It's not up to me to say you should or should not be having gay sex. That's up to the people who are involved. Um, that's just not, it's just not my, as a social scientist, that's not really what I should be doing. And when you start thinking about religion you'll notice that that holds true for, um, I don't know every religion, but the ones I do know, they will tell you what the right interactions are, from how you are with an intimate partner, to how you are with your children, to how you are with your church and with your king or emperor. So um, the reason I'm starting this, even bringing up religion and mentioning it right here at the outset, is sociology is only 150 years old or something, but social philosophy, social theorizing, has been around as long as humans have. And if you want to look back, before, at least in the West, before our sociology, you're going to be looking at religion to get a sense of how people thought humans should interact with each other. All right, great, thank you.